welcome back, everybody, to another episode of For the Love of Dog. I am co-founder Steve, and I'm here on set, as always, with my favorite trainer, Gary Newcomb. And I said favorite.
Wow.
Even more than me.
Wow.
You're my favorite. How is your week going? I know we did a adoption event yesterday. You were intense yesterday. You were having a hard time, weren't you?
Had to lay down some laws. Dogs weren't following directions. People weren't following directions.
I think, now, be honest, you were having a hard time keeping your cool, huh? Be honest. Come on.
I thought I was cool.
You were. I didn't say you weren't cool. I said you were having a hard time.
I just don't think
cool.
you see that level where, my volume of analogy where I have to ramp it up that far. I will jump someone or a dog's ass in a second.
No, again, I was across the street. And I could not see you, but I could hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the dog? You were having a hard time with that. Everyone was having a little hard time with that dog. What dog was it?
We were doing a lot of dog testing, dog on dog testing.
What was that black? The
mama dog?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. I can't remember the dog's name.
Weird name. Yeah.
Anyway, but it was.
She blew me away, though. Honestly, I met her the day before, and it was literally into the leash. It was a rough, intense meeting. But yesterday she met so many people. Yeah, you had no hesitation.
You had her around everything.
She ended up being the dog that we used to dog test all the other dogs that were there.
Oh, okay, yeah. PJ was mentioning that we should keep that dog because that was so great.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, very cool. No, actually, it was. I'm always proud of our team. I'm so humbled that get to be lucky enough to be on the Little Red Dog team. And I really do mean that. I don't know why. I couldn't have been more proud than yesterday. I thought that everybody rocked it. A lot of adoptions, kept everybody safe. I think the reason why I was having such a good time, it was fun to see the new shirts. Yeah. I love the fact you're wearing vintage.
The rollback.
I love it.
Art for dogs.
Well, let's try to, here, it's always my fault. I'll bring us back on track. One thing I wanted to talk about, and it's very apropos for what's going on in the United States, is that when you do, adopt a dog, and heaven forbid, even if you, purchase a dog, it's very important that you let the dog chill, decompress, as we always say. We always want your new best buddy to learn your rhythm, if you will, of your house. We want that dog to be exposed to everything that you love. It's just that we don't want you to do it all on the first day.
Yeah.
Right?
No, the analogy I always use is if I snatch you up, I put you in my white van and drive you to my house. Right. It doesn't make us family, and it doesn't make my home your home.
Right.
So you're probably going to be a little defensive when I unduct tape you from the back of the white van. So.
And I always say you're a good dog trainer. Yeah.
I'm a better kidnapper.
What a violent analogy. Silence of the Dogs. Like Gary Newcomb.
To some degree, the dog does think you're kidnapping him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's actually a very good analogy.
People see it from, I'm giving this dog a great home. We're going to go, your life just changed. The dog's like, hey, where's all my people?
Well, obviously, the reason why I'm mentioning this, if you're paying attention to the news at all, which I can barely read, but if you're listening to the news, whatever, you know that our first adoptable dog in the White House had a little mistake,
an incident. They called it
a little incident, and in our world, it's super common.
Oh yeah,
right. And I can almost guarantee that the dog just teleported. Lord knows how. I'm sure they drove. I don't know if they drove the dog. I don't know what. Got to a new place.
I think he flies on Marine One.
Yeah, absolutely. Just gets there. Very overwhelming. By the way, the White House and the lawn and all that would be overwhelming to any human being on the planet.
Yes.
So now it's a dog. And dogs in this situation are a lot like humans. Like you said, it's a new place. They don't know what the hell is going on. It's a recipe for the dog to do something stupid.
Yep.
And it was a bite, a correction. We would call it a correction. Dog correcting. Dog was probably growling at the guard. It was a
Secret Service member. Yeah.
Secret. Anyway, so I'm sure the dog growled.
Yep.
I'm.
Well, there's been reports that the dog has growled, lunged, acted towards them before now, and so it
wasn't the first.
They're acknowledging that the dog has given signals that it wasn't comfortable, and this is just the farthest that it's gone.
And I want everyone to know that it has nothing to do with the dog being a dog rescue. It has nothing to do with the dog being aggressive. It's just being a dog.
Yeah, dog taken out of its environment and forced into another environment.
Right. And so I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit and how important it is to let dogs decompress and listen to them. It happens, I would say, if we do, I'd say 30 adoptions in a month. Well, let's say we do 50 adoptions in a month. We're going to have one incident like that out of the 50 because the new family didn't listen to us and say, hey, let the dog chill.
Yep.
The best thing you can do is put the dog somewhere where you can see the flow of your household. Don't show him a ton of attention. Don't have a lot of people over it.
Give it a public bed and a private bed and let it do its thing.
So take us kind of further into that and kind of, why don't you tell people what you suggest when you know they're getting a new dog?
So yeah, absolutely. What I tell people is first I give them the freaky white van analogy, and then I tell them that you give the dog a public bed. Right. So, somewhere in a common area and a private bed.
Right.
If the dog wants to go to the private bed for the first couple of weeks, let them do that. If the dog completely shuts down and does not come, get out of that private bed, then you have to start closing that one off. Force them for a couple hours a day where that bed is taken out of play.
Right.
So you kind of have to start tapering them on at some point. But most dogs, when you get them into the new environment, they get comfortable. They start to find out, oh, this guy's not going to hurt me. She feeds me every day. They take me on walks.
Right.
And the dog starts naturally decompress and come around. But yeah, what you want to do is lay back, let the dog decompress a little, and let them start coming to you and showing you signs. When a dog will come to you for affection, when a dog will take a treat from you.
Right.
It depends on the dog. Obviously, some dogs come in and just out of the box, they're ready to go. I'm ready to play tug and give you my belly on day one.
Right.
But, some dogs need a little schmoozing. So on those dogs, you have to let them go at their pace. And in general, I tell people a month. It can take upwards of a month. For most dogs, I'd say the average is 2 weeks that you'll see 90% of the nervous behaviors go away.
Right.
But, upwards of a month. And then if they haven't gotten over it in a month, then we need to start doing some training to get them back towards, becoming more socialized to people, dogs, to the environment that's around them.
And I think to give all new pet owners a break, it's very difficult to execute what we're talking about because your instinct as a human being is you just got this beautiful dog with fur and a cute face, and all you want to do is focus on it and love it and have fun.
Absolutely.
So basically what we're saying is you have to turn that instinct off. This is not intuitive behavior. This has to be practiced
absolutely
by the human. And then practice. I'm literally saying practice ignore is hard.
Yeah. No, it is.
Especially for me.
Yeah.
I think it's probably easier for you. I think it's harder for me because I'm kind of a egomaniac, I think.
I mean, it's not easy for me. You see, when I walk up and Sunny's here and I see Sunny, I'm going to break
you did it the right way.
I'm going to break every rule. I'm going to squat down and give her affection and do all that.
But you did it right. I mean, I saw you today when you were trying to get her to walk a little bit. Yeah. No, it's hard for me.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not perfect.
No.
Basically, we know what we're supposed to do. We try 90% of the time to follow those rules, but, we make mistakes. We become invested in whatever emotion we have going at that time. I see a cute puppy, I want to run up to him too.
Sure.
But to some degree, you have to read the dog. If you run up to that puppy and that puppy's waggling tail and everything, then yes, squat down.
That's an invitation.
Yes, let that puppy into your lap and love it to its fullest. But if you come in, like we had some people yesterday who came to meet a dog, and the first thing they did was run up to the dog, lean over it, look it in the eye, and throw their hand in its face.
Right.
And the dog jumped back a good 3 feet. And whoa.
Right.
Don't meet a dog that's giving you these signs that way. And I showed him. I turned my back to the dog. I came in, I squatted down. I let the dog come to me and smell me.
Right.
And of course, they met the next dog and did the same exact thing.
Well, I would love to slap the moron that first taught, hey, if you want to meet a dog, throw your hand at the
Let
nose.
it smell your hand. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
In a generic sense, if you have a dog that's cool, yes.
Sure.
But you have to read the dog.
Yeah.
It's like you don't run up to the strangers on the street and be like, hey, you have a shaved head, tattoos covering your face. I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in and give you a hug.
Read the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think the one thing that I'm learning as the older I get is I am trying to make a more astute, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to make more of an effort. There we go. I'm trying to make more of an effort to always put myself in the other person's shoes. And it goes for the dogs. It goes for dogs too. Always remember, whatever you're doing, especially if it's a new dog that has never seen you before, think about meeting that same human being that you've never met before. Would you do the same things as you approach a dog? Probably not. Always put yourself in the other person's shoes. Like you said, read the room, right?
Yeah.
Just because you want to love on the dog immediately does not mean the dog wants to love on you, right?
Yeah, it's a two-way street.
It is definitely a two-way street, just like it is with other human beings. My point is, try not to be selfish, because when you go in for affection on a dog, you're 100% doing it for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You're not doing, the dog doesn't give a shit in that moment.
No, it's fulfilling to you. I mean, that's the mistaken part, though, is that people do think that they're giving the dog something that they want. 100% every dog wants it. And I mean, if you step out of yourself and you look at it from that perspective, then you can see.
Right.
Nothing in life is black and white. No. Everything is a series of gray. And so there's some dogs that will love that, but there's a lot of dogs that won't. Yeah,
and then I think the base, I always tell people the base is, as you approach a new dog, no eye contact, no touch, no talk, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you want to do some inside dope, there are some breeds that you can break all those rules, and mathematically you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
But and also the opposite is true. You can still do everything correctly, but if you just get a little bit impatient, you might get bit or you might get growled at. Nigel, our Chihuahua, is a great example of that. You literally have to ignore him for 5 minutes, maybe 10.
Yeah.
And then he'll love you to death.
Yeah, he'll start coming in.
And then conversely, you can do everything wrong with Tank, and he's going to love you anyway.
Yes.
But the base is just like good manners in the human world. If you want to say hello or thank someone, the base for all dogs is, as you approach, no eye contact, no touch, no talk. If you break the rule and you get bit, guess what? It's your stupid fault. It's not the dog's. I'm so tired of people saying I got bit for no reason.
So in this, there's kind of an interesting side effect that I noticed, and it's kind of feeding into what you're talking about. And that is how the coverage of the bite-in dog's major biting.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
The one that really chapped me was by Slate magazine.
Okay.
They took it off. But MSN had already reposted it.
Oh,
so I found a copy of it on there.
What was their argument?
First of all, the headline was offensive. Joe Biden's dog not such a good boy after all.
Yeah.
You're going to straight blame the dog for this, taking out all human culpability to what went down.
Isn't it a young dog too? Isn't it a pretty young dog? Yeah, it's a young dog.
So he's 3, I think, and the other one is 13 or something.
Yeah, the one is a senior dog.
Yeah. And he's pretty chill. He's not having any issues.
He's chill.
So one of the quotes out of it was, "You can never be too sure about dogs because they are, in fact, dogs."
Well, you know what? I will give that comment a little slack, because at the end of the day, they are animals.
Yes.
They are animals.
But I mean, you can take a cross-cut of human beings and say, Charles Manson is Charles Manson because, in fact, he's a human being.
Right. I see what you're saying.
So, you can't go across a whole species and say that they have a shortcoming like that.
Right. I see what you're saying. No, that's true.
But yes, to some degree, I do agree that, it is a dog and you have to treat it. You can't
treat it like a human.
Yeah, it was their lack of seeing that dog psychology that made it go as far as it did for the incident.
Sure.
So, but in the end, they had to ship him back to Delaware. So he's
and the senior, too.
Yep, they shipped them both off. They're hoping that they can go get him trained. socialize them a little more, bring them up.
Well, you go train the flipping Secret Service. They needed a little training, obviously, how to approach a dog correctly. Well, I'm sure he was in a hurry.
Yeah, that's the deal. We got to
get shit done.
That's the deal. You know, they're not going to put the President of the United States
I get it. They
security detail on the back seat so that they can worry about socializing Biden's dog.
But it wouldn't hurt on just basic.
No, absolutely. I mean, people should do everything. If you're a mailman, you should approach that with a certain amount of sensibility of dogs. No matter what you do, if you come into contact with a dog, you need to put that sensibility to it.
Well, one last comment, because I know we got to tear out of here. I loved what CNN's report, and now it's all over the place, that the dogs don't do well when Dr. Jill Biden isn't there.
Yeah,
and we encounter that.
Yeah,
dogs look at some humans as kind of the safe home base.
Yep. And
when that home base leaves, they're a little out of sorts.
Yeah.
So you got to be sensitive to that too.
And, you know, maybe Dr. Biden is the structured one.
Maybe. I wouldn't mess with her.
No.
I'd follow her.
No.
Whatever she says, I would do.
Seems sensible, level-headed. It's just what a dog's looking for.
Well, if you haven't figured it out by now, it wasn't the dog's fault. Take care, everybody. Please subscribe. Please reach out to us any way possible. Go to our website, thelittlereddog.org. Adopt, volunteer, foster, donate. We need you. Take care, everybody. Have a good week. Hey, everybody. This is Steve at the Little Red Dog. You know, in our program, we don't just talk the talk. We also walk the walk. Now, what does that mean? Well, we're going to have a special event, a special fundraiser called the Red Dog Dash. And we're going to explain to you and help you with your pup. Now, this is a 7-day challenge. And the way that you can sign up is you can simply go to our website, thelittlereddog.org. There's all sorts of places to click and get involved. Watch us on Facebook, get on Instagram. Easy ways to sign up. But just to give you a quick outline, all this is going to be is going to help you become a humble warrior or a great alpha leader. Now, Gary, I know you're going to do this, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because even if you're a pro like Gary, you can learn something. So please tune in March 13th to the 20th. There's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of ways you can participate. Just go to thelittlereddog.org and you'll see a huge banner of how to sign up and get involved. Hope to see you out there. It's a virtual event, but you actually get to go outside with your dog and you report to us how you're doing. Anyway, check us out. We love you. Can't do this without you. Take care, everybody. They're still on the air.
Did they put Sunny up?
Sunny up. What do you mean? Oh, yes. That's our dog. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Steve McLean. We're here with another episode of For the Love of Dog, and I've got Miss PJ Rosh, my boss, a.k.a. my wife. She's here. PJ, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Nice. Hey, so, you know what do we got going on this week? What's our big thing?
We have the Red Dog Dash.
Dog Dash.
We are so lucky to have in studio with us
our
sponsor, Best Life Leashes, and this is Liz Knoll. Hey, thank
Liz.
you for joining us.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going great.
Thanks for having me.
Well, don't be silly. Thank you for showing up. I mean, besides my mom, you know, you're now the second person that's been on the show, I think. No, I'm just teasing. But before I forget, I just want to thank you so much for being a sponsor for our show, and for everyone that's watching. This is their product that Liz sells. It's Best Life Leashes. Liz, please tell us all about it, how you got started, and why you're so passionate about rescue dogs.
Of course, yeah, and I don't know if you can see him. He's kind of blends into the
Oh, he's camera shy.
he's somewhere down here. This big guy is pretty much the inspiration for it. Him and
Nice.
our Frenchie Buddha, who I believe is... he's probably chewing up my slipper somewhere, which is fine. But they're both rescue dogs, and they're beautiful dogs, of course. And a lot of people would tell us or ask us, oh my gosh, where did you get those dogs? Like, what breeder did you get them from? And of course, every dog comes from a breeder. They got to be born somewhere. But
Right.
we really wanted a way to show people that these beautiful dogs that they're seeing, these purebred dogs, these happy dogs, whichever dogs. They can be rescues, but there is no way to let people see that. We had to tell them, and instead of running up to everybody on the street and saying they're rescues and being like, cool,
Right.
We wanted a way to show without saying a word that you could see from far away, and so we created the 2 white stripes and a leash and collar that is the symbol for rescue dogs.
Well, one thing I'm impressed with, and I'm not just blowing smoke, Liz, is I love the fact that you picked martingale, and as like to me, it's like your trophy item. It's so cool, and the reason why I love it so much. But let me back up a little bit further. Anyone that knows me, I always try to talk people into martingales anyway. We don't want people using harnesses if they don't have to. I don't want to get into that, right? That's not what this is about. But I love the fact that it's a martingale. And it's not just an average Joe martingale. I love the width.
It's very beefy.
It's so beefy. I love that. I just need a skull. Could you put a skull right here for me, Liz, and it'll be perfect. But what made you pick specifically a martingale? Why not just a flat, or why not just a leash? Why did you do the martingale?
Mr. Breakfast is also the inspiration behind that.
Okay.
He does the typical stop and back up. And when I first rescued him, I had no idea that he did that. And so the first walk that we went on together, I used the typical buckle collar. Always make sure you have the 2 spaces, but that was not a good sign to hold up. Sorry, I won't do that again.
It's okay. I get that all the time, Liz. It's okay.
So I had that, but the thing is his head and his neck are the same width, the same diameter, and he just slipped right out of it, the first little pop-up backup that he did. And normally, like, you call your dog back or you talk to him, but he's deaf, so that's always been a huge fear of mine, that if he's gone, like, this boy's gone, I mean, he can move pretty well for a little keg with legs, and right. You can't call him back. He's just a dog he just kind of wanders around, and I kind of knew immediately that I didn't want to use that sort of collar. So whenever we were designing the leash and the collars, and whenever we went through trials and tribulations upon, leashes and things like that, I was pretty adamant about it being a martingale collar. Mostly because we are focusing on rescue dogs.
Right.
And unfortunately, that is a common thing for a lot of rescue dogs to, after shortly adopted, or even years later after they're being adopted, it can be startled and be able to pull off and run off. It was also a really big thing with helping out the rescues and supporting you guys. I knew that was the type of collar that was usually preferred, or slip leads. And it just it looks better. There's not a bold clip on it and everything. It's this nice, sleek, modern, beautiful look. And it just kind of developed from there. It was a weird sort of trial and tribulation thing.
No, it's a good choice. And, Steve said, and you mentioned, Liz, obviously we rescue a lot of dogs, and some of them are fearful. And until they, understand that they're safe, the dogs that start wailing, and they'll get out of everything, a harness, a slip lead sometimes, and definitely a flat collar. So it's really good to have the martingales. We love them. I mean, it's a great tool for walking the dogs, both to keep them safe and also, to deliver a correction if you need to. So I think that's great. And I agree. I mean, they're really beautiful. I love the idea of the 2 stripes because it's so recognizable. And, it's really a great thing. So when did you start your company? How long have you guys been doing this?
We actually just hit our 1-year mark.
Good for you.
Last month. Yeah, nice. So it's been a year. Yeah, so we're steadily growing. We've grown a lot more than we thought we would within a year, but we've got some big things coming, and we are hoping that one day it'll be a very well-known fact, kind of like the Nike Swish. Like, you see the Swish, it's Nike. You see the 2 white stripes, it's a rescue.
Well, I was going to ask you, what made you pick the I love the simple white stripe. What made you pick that?
That was actually Chad, my partner and boyfriend, business partner, boyfriend, co-founder. He, we were originally going to make it to where it was like half black and then half of a color. That's a little too common. And, one day he just kind of looked at it and he was like, oh, I put these 2 white stripes on the computer thing. And, even then that was actually just a design. It wasn't thought of as the symbol. And so I have to give him full on credit for even saying, what if we made them mean something? And I was just like, what? And he said, it's a symbol. It's a symbol for us. It shows people, that I'm like, that doesn't exist. He goes, yeah, I know. Let's do it. So it was definitely his.
That's great.
Oh, I love it. I mean, and being a graphic designer, I always like simplicity done perfectly. And to me, that's this. It's simple, but you did it perfect. And no one understands doing something simple perfectly is not easy to do. I mean, I can tell you spent a lot of time on this. I mean, I can tell.
Not from a design perspective.
But I mean, when you first look at it, most people wouldn't understand that it took you that long, but I get it. Just simple things like, I cannot talk about how much I love the width. Everything that I've seen, the colors have been cool.
Yeah, our big guy is an Amstaff, and he's got a big, thick neck, and so it's nice to have that width on there. And
but when we put it on Nigel and it covered all his eyes, I thought it was amazing.
Nigel's our little guy.
Yeah.
So you started the company with Chad, your partner and boyfriend. I'm always interested because it sounds like you started it pre-pandemic, right? You guys kicked it off in February before the whole world shut down. Were you like, oh crap, when that happened? Or, I mean, because we didn't see that coming, how many people were going to get dogs. And we just were blown away. We were getting 100 apps a day on dogs. It was like so overwhelming, but it was nice that people were interested in, either fostering or adopting. But it
definitely, sorry to cut you off. It definitely impacted us. I always hate saying that it was a positive thing because it's not.
I hear you. I understand.
In a way, it was kind of like we were actually going to wait to do it until summer, and we both looked at each other one day, like in February and like February 1st, and I think we launched on the 2nd or something, and we were going over like, okay, we have this, and at the time we only had black as the color, and black and white, cool, sleek, keep it simple, and we kind of were going over everything that we needed to have done. And I said, hey, I think we're ready. And he was like, I think we're ready. And then I went, I don't think we're ready. We kind of did back and forth.
Sure.
And, he's like, why are we just letting, this sit here? Like, why are we letting this mission just go on longer?
Right.
And that's my issue is I'm always like, let's wait for that perfect moment. And I've learned there is no perfect moment.
No, you're right.
So something just told us, like, it was this, or the universe, whatever you want to believe that is, we'd had this gut feeling that said we need to do it now and we need to get it out there now. And so we did. We just kind of randomly went and made the website live, and little did we know, a month and a couple weeks later, people would be walking their dogs a lot more. And that was kind of like the blessing is like, oh man, people are going to be walking their dogs. They're going to want this pretty leash, this pretty collar, this meaningful symbol. And not only are going to be people walking their dogs more, but they're going to be adopting more rescue dogs, which
So,
yeah, definitely. I think, I know what you mean about saying that there's, it wasn't positive, but there are a lot of positives that have come out of the pandemic. And I think, more people did rescue, more people did foster.
Right.
So that's, we adopted 561 dogs last year. So it was a personal record for TLRD, in almost 10 years. And I think it was good. There are a lot of positives coming out. Yes, of course, it's horrific, with people being sick and dying. But from the dog perspective, I mean, my dogs are so happy we're home all the time, because we're working from home. And that wasn't my reality. My reality was I traveled almost every month, and Steve was here with the dogs, and so that, it was a good thing. I'm curious. I always ask people about this when they're working with their partner, who's also their partner in life, because that's Steve and I. And so I'm curious, how's that going? A year into it, how's that work?
It goes really well. It's kind of funny. Like when he kind of brought up like, hey, we want to start this company, he was actually thinking of doing it with another friend. And I kind of jumped in and said, that's not good for a leash design. That's not good for this. Like, what are you guys doing?
That's funny.
And he kind of, he looked at me and he said, well, hey, you're really good. Mr. Breakfast's Instagram had already been going and getting quite a few followers at that point. We had gotten featured and invited to events and everything. So he said, hey, you're actually really good at this kind of stuff. What do you think about jumping in? Why don't we do this? Why don't you and I? And this is before it was the symbol for rescue dogs and everything. And I kind of thought about it, but I feel like it's actually brought us closer because
very cool.
I am the rescue person. I'm the dog person. I am that dog mom, that crazy dog mom. And I'm that one that says no, we need an attached poop bag. No, I've used this leash and I didn't like this about it. We need it to be this. We need it to be that. We need martingale.
Right.
And he is the experienced entrepreneur, simple graphic design, really good. He's the artist. He's that creative, aspect that you need. Right. So we kind of had like me as the social person and then him as the behind the scenes like genius. And because we have our own like strengths, it's very rare that we collide. But when we do,
who wins?
I don't know. It's like the dogs. No, I'm just kidding. We actually like we'll kind of put a vote to it. We'll actually like choose this hand and we'll do it this way. Choose this hand, we'll do it this way. And it's always just been fun. It's been a fun thing. And I think the thing that keeps us going is the mission behind it, not necessarily the success of it. Is the success of the mission and more dogs. And I think that passion and that love for, getting more people to choose to be inspired to rescue is kind of what keeps us sane.
Sure. Well,
that's awesome.
Well, right before we wrap up, I have one more question for you. Sorry. Go ahead. Well, we got 2 more minutes. So go ahead.
Well, I want to talk about because we talked about the martingales, which are awesome. Which I don't think we have one of the leashes in here. Studio. But I will say you should check out the leash because I could tell it was designed by a woman because it was very thoughtful.
Yeah.
I have never been a fan of attaching the poop bag, canister or tying them around the leash. I hate that. It's just a personal thing. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like it. But your leash has it built in, as you said. It's just the material's good. It feels good in your hands. So I just think that it was so thoughtful. The design was so good. I just really, really applaud that. So good for you.
Thank you.
No, it's perfect. Well, the question I want to ask last, but before we wrap up, so you launched in February. So tell me, like, when you're out in public and you see someone with your product, like, how cool was that you see someone on the street using what you guys made? That would be such a cool feeling. Thank you. And so when did that happen? So it's February, you launched in February. So when did you see it on the streets?
Well, we actually, I believe, I've seen it. I think that's been probably only like 5 or 6 times that I've seen it like out in public. And the first time that it happened, I think I almost cried.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
And what was really cool is we used to live near Balboa Park, and for people who aren't in San Diego, it's like beautiful. If you've never been, you should go. There's this bridge that you cross, and people walk going into the park, the view. But across the street, we saw somebody with it, and I said, "Oh my God, Chad, that's our leash!" And you hear people go, "Woohoo, Strike Squad!" And I just like,
"Oh, that's cool."
I just went, "Oh!" And I just like I almost lost it. Like I kept it together because we're like walking, and I don't want to but it was just a very I thought like, "Oh my God, those people know what the stripes mean. They're going to tell people." And it was just the imagining of seeing more rescue dogs, showing it. So every time that it happens, it just kind of it keeps that fuel, that fire going for us to keep working.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I mean, I'd be so proud. I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, I would have went over to them and hugged them and given them $50.
We did.
Well, that's great.
That's awesome. Well, as a matter of fact, on today's challenge, we gave away one of your leashes today. Jennifer Anderson won. Way to go, Jen.
She's an adopter. And
she's full throttle.
Yeah, no, so she's great.
Awesome. That's great.
Very cool. Well, is there anything else that you want people to know about your products, or anything else that might be coming up?
Yeah,
they should look
inside
for?
dope, inside dope.
We actually, you just happened to bring that up. We have a release coming up for some new things on Tuesday, March 16th.
Ooh, so nice. We're going to stay tuned. Now.
And, you guys I'll give a hint, you guys are the little red dog rescue, and there might be something that would go.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
That's cool. I'm
so excited.
I know. It's very exciting.
I can't sleep now.
If you have not, if you don't know this, please go to their website. Is it bestleashes.com? Or
bestlife.org. Yeah.
Best Leashes. Say it. Okay, I'm going to let you say it.
It's bestlifeleashes.org.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Sam will cut out my bad stuff.
We can fix it in post.
Yes, so definitely check them out. Their stuff is amazing. We're not just saying that because we get a lot of stuff sent to us that we wouldn't promote.
Right, that we don't use, yeah.
But we wouldn't use. But these products are amazing. They're very thoughtfully designed. They're beautiful. And they do donation 1-to-1 for rescues. So if you purchase one, then they donate one, which is another amazing thing. Because as you you know, rescue's expensive, and donations are really important. And it's great if it's good equipment, because when we adopt a dog, we usually send really good equipment with the dog. We don't just send them out on a lead, because obviously we want to set people up for success. And this stuff is really great, and we're really excited to partner with you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Liz, so much for showing up.
We're excited as well, guys. Thank you so much. I'm excited to see what's to come.
Yeah, me too, and I can't wait for the 16th.
We're going to be there.
I mean,
we're going to be watching.
Awesome.
We're going to be watching. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of For the Love of Dog. I'm Steve, co-founder. I'm here with PJ Rosh. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, Liz.
Thanks, Liz. Have a great week.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
All right.
Nice.
Bye.